Hey guys, Bailey here from Funnelytics. I wanted to record a short video to introduce you to the Step Explorer. This is a really great tool that's going to support you in answering questions like where did people come from? Where are we sending them to? What's the next step people are taking? So it starts by mapping things out on the canvas. So you can see here I've already added the Funnelytics homepage. You can simply add any pages or traffic sources based on the Explorer. You can also map things out. Now keep in mind, whenever you're adding something to the canvas from a mapping window, it's not going to be pre-configured. So for example, if I click Google, this isn't going to mean anything until I actually add tracking. So for this, I'm not going to use URL parameters. I'm going to use the referring URL, and I'm going to come in here and just add google.com. That way, when I refresh the analytics, this will go from a generic icon that's simply just a picture to a trackable source. Now I can connect these two, and if you have already gone through the how to read your numbers module, then you will know how to read these numbers. Pretty self-explanatory. So in this instance, we can see that 3,292 people have come from Google Organic. 75% of them went on to our Funnelytics homepage, which is less than half of our total people who have visited the homepage. And this is where the Step Explorer shines. So for example, if I wanted to know where the rest of these people came from, I can click on this asset and you'll see two blue buttons. The one on the right represents outgoing traffic. We'll talk about that in a second. The one on the left talks about incoming traffic. So if I wanted to know where the rest of these 6,245 people come from, I'm going to use Step Explorer on previous steps. Now, the first time you open it, it's going to show you mapped icons. So you're going to want to go over to Explore. And here I can see, again, of the people who landed on this page, 2,468 of them came from Google. 619 of them came from Facebook. So I can just click this and add this onto the canvas. And I can continue to do this on on pages. To see where people are coming from. So people also came from this account created library, which is actually one of our post opt-in thank you pages, and they went back to the Funnelytics homepage. If I wanted to grab a little thumbnail of that, I can click that camera and it will populate the thumbnail of that page. So pretty self-explanatory. This will show you the previous steps, and of course, if I want to populate the lines with data, then I would just refresh my analytics. So I can see now of the 6,247, 2,472 of them came from Google, 619 came from this m.facebook domain, and 289 of them came from this post opt-in thank you page. And as you do your exploration, you'll see that they're listed from most visited to least visited all the way down to the bottom. Now, one thing to keep in mind about previous steps and next steps is there are two ways you can look at this information. One of them is previous pages. And when you have this filter, this is going to show you the direct step that people were on prior to landing on that page. Whereas if I go to all previous pages, this is going to aggregate the data and show you the most popular page that people were on before visiting. So we can actually see that almost 2,000 people have refreshed this page. 983 of them came from login before being on this page. And you'll see that when I map that to the canvas, it changes to a dotted line. That's because this is, again, an aggregated view, meaning there are some people of this 983 who did not go directly from the login page to the Funnelytics page. They took some steps in between. And to represent that, Funnelytics changes the line from a solid to a dashed line. So this number represents most people came from the login page, but some people took some steps in between. And we, again, just differentiate that by this drop down. So previous steps represents a direct next step. All previous pages will aggregate the customer journey based on hierarchy of most visited to least visited pages, actions, or traffic sources. Now to discuss traffic sources, same idea. We could go here, and if I wanted to understand the traffic sources that contributed to this Funnelytics.io page visit, I can see here my standard parameters. So if I wanted to click source, I can see Facebook, broadcast, emails, some of our HubSpot automation emails, Google. This is our onboarding sequence, AdWords, our Beamer. So all of these things I can either add them to the canvas. So we'll add in Facebook and we'll add in broadcast emails. And refresh the analytics. And we can see here that 20 people came from our emails, which contributed to some of the 6,251 people. And if I wanted to change this, then I can click on style and change this to an email. I can change this one to a Facebook. Now, one thing to note is there are pages that there are some Facebook source, right? So the only parameter that we have on this is source, that are going to send people likely to different pages based on different campaigns that we're running. So it immediately did a broken line here because not all Facebook traffic is sending people to the homepage. But if I want to understand as an aggregated view, anything that has the source Facebook, how is that contributing to people landing on our homepage? That's what Funnelytics is showing us. So it's saying you didn't specify which campaign, therefore all campaigns, not all campaigns run to our homepage. So it immediately went to a broken line, but we're still understanding the relationship between this icon and this icon. Okay, so we've taken a look at the previous steps. Now let's take a look at the next steps. So same thing, I'm going to drag forwards, and Funnelytics is going to show me the next most popular page that people visited. So we can see the login page, and then if I wanted to see the next step that people took, I could click through and I'll see the next popular page is the dashboard, which makes sense when people log in. And again, if I wanted to populate that with an image, I could do so. Now, the same concept applies with the next steps. So next pages versus all next pages. Again, next pages will represent the direct next step. All next pages will represent aggregated overview of traffic. And that is the Funnelytics Step Explorer in summary. One thing I wanted to note before wrapping up, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm just going to draw your attention to it, is when you select a Google page, you're going to see here that this icon will only have one arrow that will point people away because there is no incoming traffic into a source. It's the source of the traffic. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please let us know.